Welcome. This is part 2 of this video. So if you haven't seen part 1 yet, click the first link below. That'll be part 1. Go watch that and then come watch this one. It explains what we're doing here, what we're talking about, and that way you're not confused and you can catch up with the rest of us. If you have watched part 1, thanks for watching. I'm glad you're back for part 2. We're gonna dig right in. Okay, so what are the judges judging you on? You can always go to NPC News Online and see the rules for the division of bikini, and it'll say everything that they're judging on. But in layman's terms, they're looking for the best overall package. So they're looking for a physique that is overall symmetrical and balanced. They don't want the girl on stage with the biggest glutes that overpower her upper body. They don't want the girl on stage that has insane deltoids and great abs, but no glutes, no hamstrings, or, huge overpowering quads. They want the girl that they look at and her body is symmetrical, balanced, and it flows together. You have the nice round shoulders, small waist, and the round glutes that match the roundness of the shoulders. So they want your overall physique to flow. And then when you present it, they want a beautiful, classy presentation. That's what they're looking for when they're judging. They're not looking for the biggest glutes, biggest shoulders, or anything like that. They're looking for you to simply bring your physique to its best position. So if you didn't bring your best physique to that stage, it's probably going to reflect in your placings. Now, I hope that explains a little bit more of the judging portion of it. Like I said, go online to find all the full details of what they're judging you on. Let's talk about how show day is glamorized. So generally show day is glamorized, which makes a lot of girls want to do competing, but they don't realize what went into that show day. So maybe if you're someone who's competing, you're taking pictures of your hair, your makeup, your jewelry, you're so excited, you go on stage, you're so happy, you look the best you've ever looked, and from a social media perspective, looking at your photo online, you just see this absolutely amazing thing that you did, and it seems very appealing, especially to girls that have never done it before and don't know what goes on behind it. But what you guys don't see is every single moment leading up to those few seconds on stage. All of the hard work that athlete put into that physique for a few seconds on stage. All of the meal prepping and the supplements and the coaching and the posing and the countless hours of training and cardio. All of those moments that went into those few seconds on stage. Girls, you need to know what you're signing up for. This is not an easy sport. It is not for the lighthearted. It is not for anyone else other than someone who is a very dedicated athlete. Now, I know that there are people who compete and it's kind of like a bucket list type thing and they lose weight and get on stage, and that's fine if that's your overall goal. Just make sure you keep your head straight and your mentality in a good spot, knowing that you're doing this just for yourself because you want to feel good and feel beautiful. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But if you're someone who's looking to compete and looking to win, you need to know what it requires and what it's going to take out of you. It's going to take everything you have. You're going to have to learn how to balance your life, balance your social life, your family life, your training life, and you have to be able to do all of that while not letting competing take over your life. It should be a part of your life. It should be something that you love. It should be a great hobby. It should be something that sometimes is hard and difficult and you make it through, but it should not be your life. Don't let it be your life. Don't push others out of your life because of competing. Now, with that said, if you're just now transitioning from drinking every single weekend and now you're all of a sudden in bikini prep, you're probably going to lose some friends. You're going to lose the friends that drink every single night, most likely, because they're not interested in going to the gym at 7 a.m. when you're up hitting the gym for cardio. Things like that. But I just want to reiterate to you guys that there's a lot that goes on to those few seconds on stage, so please know what you're signing up for. With that said, like I've said before, I'm one of those crazy few athletes. I enjoy the prep process. I love it. I live for it. I love flipping that switch to that. I just flip the switch and it's like game time, man. And it's game time all the way through next September. I feed off of that. I love it. So if you're a person that loves it, freaking awesome, more power to you. If you're a person that doesn't love it, freaking awesome, more power to you. Find something you do love. We are going to talk about the people that call competitors obsessive. This comes from a place generally of just not understanding what it requires to be a good competitor. Now, this obsessive word comes from situations like you bringing your scale to, say, weigh your froyo if you decided to get froyo, or weighing every single thing that you eat, or skipping out on dinner because that restaurant doesn't have the macros and you can't accurately track it. They just simply don't understand that unlike a volleyball player, a track athlete, a football player, they may have some nutrition guidelines that they follow, but it's not a big deal if they have some dinner and they don't normally track all of their calories. Maybe some do, but most of them don't. They just kind of know what they should eat and get a majority of. They don't understand that for the competitor, the bodybuilding competitor, it's a physique competition, and literally every single thing that you put in your body is so important, and you have to be able to control the smallest of details. So it's actually just being very dedicated to your goals. Your protocol should match your goal. So if your goal is to compete in a physique competition and you want to bring the best physique possible, by science, we know that that happens through nutrition and exercise. So if you're a good competitor, you're going to do absolutely everything you can to make sure that is on point, which means saying no to the places that you can't accurately track. Again, bikini prep is not the fit lifestyle. It is not how to live a fit lifestyle. It is the very extreme side of things. So if I was not on bikini prep and I was going to a restaurant and I wanted to get some sort of like chicken, pasta, whatever, and they didn't have the macros, for the fit lifestyle, I would eat it and I would love it and I would enjoy it, and I would probably estimate and I would overestimate just a little bit just to make sure that I accounted for it. But as a bikini competitor, you can't do that. You have to make sure everything is on point. So stay dedicated to your program. For the people calling you obsessive, if you can, just try to explain to them why you have to be this controlled and dedicated to your sport, as opposed to, say, a volleyball or basketball player. Let's talk about the IIFYM approach to dieting and competing. A lot of people will say, oh my gosh, you're competing. How can you have cereal? How can you have this or that? And they think that there's specific food groups that you have to have. The IIFYM approach, it's the if it fits your macros approach, states that you can basically have any sort of food that hit your macronutrient requirements. Your macros are your proteins, carbs, and fats, and those numbers make up your calories for the day. So as long as you're hitting your caloric intake at the macro ratios that you set for that day, then that's what matters, and you'll still make progress based on that. Now, just from some personal experimentation, I found that I perform better, I feel better, and I have less cravings when I limit things like seeing how many Pop-Tarts I can fit in my macros, or having all the Walden Farms in the world. I actually don't even use Walden Farms anymore. I think that actually made my cravings even worse. So I do try to stick to more of the whole food approach. With that said, at the end of the night, if I'm craving chocolate, then I might have a few chocolate chips, and I use the flexibility of macros to fit those in. That way I can get my craving out of the way and I'm not craving anything anymore. So I love the flexibility of macros to be able to satisfy those cravings when I really need something. Let's talk about the backside pose for bikini competitors. So I completely understand why there's a lot of misinformation out there. Part of that is because people see things online and they think that that's what it's supposed to be. So for example, they may see a girl who says she's a bikini competitor and she goes and does a show and she's pretty much bending over in her back pose, and it's very provocative, and maybe she even does one of those little, like, you know, I don't know, provocative movements that bikini girls do, and it's kind of upsetting. I wish that that wasn't out there, because that's not what it's supposed to be. It's not attractive to the judges or anyone in that matter, and that's not what it's supposed to be. So the appropriate bikini pose is supposed to be standing straight up. There's a slight arch in your back just to raise the glutes slightly, and the judges are looking for overall shape, symmetry, balance, slight conditioning. On a bikini competitor, you shouldn't see any striations or anything like that. And I'll insert some photos of my back pose so that you can see nice and straight. I'll actually just show you now. I'm wearing like hoodie and joggers always. So bikini back pose, from the side is this right here. So you can see this is me standing normal, and that is my arched butt, but you can't really tell because I'm wearing joggers. So this is bikini back pose. If I bend down, you can see my shoulders are still in a line with my body. It should never look like this, and it should never look like that. It's actually in the rules that if you are bending too far forward, they're gonna dock you points. So it's not supposed to be like that. The back pose is just, again, supposed to show overall symmetry and shape. It is a bodybuilding competition, and glutes are simply part of the anatomy, part of the body. It's not sexualized in any way. The competitors that do sexualize it with the way that they're posing, the way that they're doing their entire routine, it's just not a good representation of the sport. But I think regardless of what sport you're in, you have bad representations of the sport. I've seen it in football, basketball, track and field. It's just more exemplified because we are wearing bikinis that show off our bodies. Let's talk about supplements. So throughout my videos, you guys will see me using 1st Phorm supplements, and I absolutely love supplements. I think they're a great tool that you can choose to use to get you optimal results in the optimal amount of time. But notice that I said optimal. You can still still achieve great results in a great amount of time with hard work, dedication, and no supplements whatsoever. It kind of speeds up the process, gives your body the nutrients it needs if maybe you don't get that through food. There's so many great uses for supplements. Now we're gonna go a step further and talk about the competing world and a step further than supplements. We're gonna talk about steroids. Steroids are used in the bodybuilding competitive world. Let me also remind you that steroids are used in sports like football and basketball, track and field, and the stories and things that you see in the news of athletes that are caught using steroids in those sports, those are just the ones that got caught. There's so many ways to not get caught if you are an athlete like that gets tested. Now in the NPC you don't get tested for it, and it's just a personal decision if you choose to use them or not. I don't judge anyone or think that anyone is better or worse for using them or for not using them. Again, it's a personal decision. I personally decide not to use them, and I am sharing that with you guys openly because for those of you that know that I am sincere and you can trust me, I want you to know that what I'm doing is attainable through hard work, dedication, and years of lifting. I just want you guys to know that, because the main reason is because I remember looking at pictures of girls online and I would always think to myself, I don't care if this girl is taking things or not, I just want to know, because if she's not, that would super motivate me to show me that that's attainable with hard work and dedication, and it'll motivate me to work even harder. But if she is, then maybe that is not a realistic goal for me. Not that I ever wanted to look like anyone else, but you know, that level of conditioning or that physique level, I just always wondered. I was like, man, I just wish that I knew, so I knew, you know, whether or not that should motivate me or if I should, you know, not really look at that as attainable. So I want you to know that this is attainable naturally, and to everyone else, I have no desire to try and prove myself online. I know much better than that. So any of the negative comments you see or people saying that I am taking things or whatever, I'm never gonna try and prove them wrong or defend myself to them simply because I don't have anything to prove. And you guys know that I'm a trustworthy and honest person. I know that you'll know the truth and hopefully be inspired and motivated to reach your best self as I reach my best self. So I've talked a little bit about how competing is the absolute extreme of health and fitness. It is not the definition of health and fitness, but I want to talk about how competing is not the only thing. There's so many other things you can do. There's triathlons and there's yogis and CrossFitters and oh my goodness, so many other things that you can be involved with. This is a great community and an uplifting community, but I went to my stepmom's triathlon meet the other day and I was like, wow, this is amazing. All of these athletes have trained so hard and so long, and they're here performing. You have all these crowds of people cheering for them. It was just such a cool, uplifting community. So don't forget, there's so many other communities out there. Try different things, try new things, figure out what works for you. I think there's nothing more beautiful than seeing someone find what they truly love, what they're truly passionate about. So try different things and stay open-minded, and just realize that when you finally do what makes you the most happy, you're gonna be able to help and inspire so many people by just being the best you that you can be.
Can we get the talent some coffee?
I just have to interrupt because there's something so important that I did not touch on. Someone just commented on part 1 and I was about to put up part 2, and then I saw that comment and was like, oh no, I gotta throw a hat on. It's first thing in the morning, but I gotta record this for you guys. So we're gonna talk about the myth and the statement that people say: all bikini competitors sleep with judges for better placement, or most bikini competitors, or a lot of bikini competitors. That is such a huge myth, it's not even funny. The fact that people think that that goes on a regular or common basis is beside me. And I get it, they just don't understand. Do I personally think that that ever has occurred? Possibly, yeah, I do think it has. I'm going to offer my opinion, but before I do, I want to tell you first, I don't have first-hand knowledge of that ever happening. I don't have 100% proof or first-hand knowledge of that 100% not happening. So make sure that where you're getting your information from, where these myths are coming from, make sure that it's coming from someone that's not gossiping. I can't stand gossip for reasons like this, because it spreads all of these lies and rumors. And again, like I said, I don't have 100% proof it is happening. I don't have 100% proof it is not happening. My personal opinion is I do think that it has occurred in the past on a random basis. I'm not sure if it still continues to happen here and there, but let me tell you, if it happens, it's literally a whole haystack of great competitors that work their butts off and earn their placings, and then there's the needle in the haystack. And let me tell you, they must suck in bed because those are not the ones placing. And I'm sorry if you can't understand my humor, I thought that was kind of funny, but these people are not the ones that are succeeding. So if that does happen, that is a personal decision on that competitor's part, and I think that's horrible and that they should respect themselves way more than that. We won't get into that, but let me just tell you, that does not happen on a common basis. It's like, for example, have you ever heard of someone at a business place sleeping with someone to get a higher position? Have you ever been at that same workplace? How would you feel if someone did that at your workplace and then everyone from then on was saying everyone who works there does that, and you just got a promotion and now everyone's looking at you as if you did something horrible to achieve that? Absolutely not. Stop generalizing people based on gossip and myths that you hear about. And like I said, maybe that has happened. I do think it might have happened, but all competitors do not do that. In fact, I would put my money on it that 95% of competitors would never even consider that. The 5%, maybe, it's not like you can weed out all the people that are gonna choose to be sluts. Like any workplace, do you think your workplace is completely free of people making horrible decisions? Absolutely not. Maybe 0.1% of people may have done that, I'm not sure, but that's not common. It's not something that happens. Did you guys know that the head judge is a woman? Did you know that? A married woman who's also a nurse, who is one of the sweetest, most eloquent women ever. Did you know that? She's the one who makes most of the decisions. I can guarantee you that if that does happen by any chance at all anymore, they are not the ones placing or doing well. So you don't really have to worry about that. That's horrible and I feel bad for them. But this video isn't about that. I'm all heated up. We're gonna head on to the outro. Thanks for watching, guys. That's gonna conclude episode 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to give it a thumbs up on your way out. Comment down below anything that you want to contribute to the video, if you want to elaborate on anything more. I appreciate you guys watching as always. Episode number 3 is gonna be a vlog. I'm actually recording that today. Number 4 is most likely gonna be on supplements, because I've gotten a lot of questions on the supplements that I do use throughout my bikini prep. So that's it. I love you guys. Thank you for listening to me ramble and talk for quite a while now. I will see you in my next episode. Bye, guys!